guys, it's Lisa from Quilting in the Valley, and today I am going to show you how to use the number 71 lap seam foot to put a binding on with. The first thing that I'm going to tell you all is that I am using the Big Book of Feet as my reference for how to do this. The Big Book of Feet is basically your foot Bible. It tells you with the BERNINA feet everything you can do with them. So here's the entry on the number 71 lap seam foot. It tells you about how the foot is made, how big everything is. It tells you what stitch to use with it. And then it tells you all the different techniques you can use with this foot. So we're going to use the binding technique. It explains it all right there. So that is a wonderful resource. If you don't have a Big Book of Feet, I would highly recommend you get one. You will learn all kinds of things. In the meantime, we have the number 71 foot installed on the machine. The number 71 foot has got a little tongue right there that your binding will slide over, or this is actually for flat felled seams, so that would be where you would slide your seam under. And then underneath you have a nice wide channel for everything to move underneath. It has a wide enough needle hole that you can adjust the position of your needle. You do not use the dual feed with this foot. All right, so we got that on our machine. I have got my 2-inch binding strips. I have sewn them to the wrong side of my project. You press it out, flip it towards the front side of your project. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to get your project lined up underneath here. I'm going to move my needle position so that it is right to the inner edge of the binding. I can see my binding through the needle hole. And I'm moving my needle position. It is in the, what am I in? I'm in -4 for this particular piece, left 4. And it's going to be right on that inner edge of that binding. I'm going to take a couple stitches to secure it. I'm going to stop. I have my hover engaged, so my foot hovered. And then I pull that binding up over the tongue of that foot. And now all I have to do is stitch a straight line. And I am securing my binding on to the front of my piece. You can pin if it makes you feel better. The Big Book of Feet recommends that you do so. I'm not big on pinning, so I use my fingers for my pins. I have a contrast thread in here. Obviously, you would use the same color thread as your binding so that you don't notice your stitching to much of an extent. I'm going to stitch in the corner right up to my stitch line. I'll cut that out. And you can see what a nice, now if that was the same color, obviously it would blend in more. On the back, it just goes right alongside that binding on the back. But that holds that binding down more firmly than a hand stitch binding. When you get to the corner, you're going to do your miter like you normally do. Fold it over, get that put back up underneath the foot, just like you normally would. And you'll start again with a couple of securing stitches. Stop. Pull the binding over the tongue. Oops, there. And then we're going to do this side. So in a nutshell, let me clip off my little start thread. Oops, there. In a nutshell, that is your number 71 lap seam foot used to put a binding on. It is quick, it is easy, and it is fairly professional looking. And again, if I had cream color in the back and I had aqua in the front, you would not know that I had stitched this from the front. Easy peasy. Nice technique, great for baby quilts. They're hard on binding, great for table toppers, table runners, anything you're going to wash a lot, bags. It is a great foot to use for a binding that you want to make sure is really on securely. Number 71 lap seam foot and your big hook of feet, your best two things together to get professional results.